Welcome, Francis. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
So I am Mike Madison. I am a law professor here at the University of Pittsburgh and one of the hosts today in our program on innovation for lawyers. I do teach a leadership course here for our students and faculty and staff, and pretty much everybody in the room today has been through my leadership program, and that's how they have been introduced to you and your work, because we do feature that as part of our leadership theme here at Pitt's Law School. So we are especially thrilled that you're able to join us today. And we would love to hear sort of your thoughts and insights to start with on how your view of leadership could apply to people starting careers as lawyers and entering the legal profession.
Well, I'm so honored to be with you, and I would like to remind you that long, long ago, Professor Madison's predecessors looked out the window and they saw a small mill town 70 miles east of Pittsburgh. And they saw the children in that town. It was founded long, long ago by coal miners and steel workers coming from all over the world. They saw a richly diverse community that cared about all of its children, but could offer few opportunities for higher education in the deep, deep depression that community and our country was suffering from. So the University of Pittsburgh negotiated 2 floors of a beautiful Johnstown High School building for their new University of Pittsburgh Junior College, offering 2 superlative years of learning to the young people in that big steel, big coal, big labor, big hearts community. And along the way, there was a 17-year-old girl, Frances, who registered hungry for the learning these young professors in an innovative junior college would provide. Somehow, and I remember they're doing it, somehow my family scraped up the $235, the tuition for one semester at the University of Pittsburgh's Junior College. And that place for me was indeed a cathedral of learning. 7 weeks later, my father died. He had been a brave soldier, was one of the first mounted state police officers in the United States, and the governor formed this first little band to control the violence in the coal mining towns in western Pennsylvania. Although I finished that Pitt semester, I could not go back to school full time. I needed a job to take care of, pardon me, my mother, my little brother and sister, to keep our family together. So I went to classes at Pitt at night, and whatever the subject, I signed on. It was the most amazingly rich education, and those professors were so kind in a very special way to me. And those 2 floors in a high school building became magic. The place gifted young professors and eager students made so successful that today there is a great University of Pittsburgh campus, beautiful buildings in that city of Johnstown, an inspiring symbol of excellence and equal access. Now, even though I did not receive a college degree for all of those courses along the way, I did receive 21 honorary doctoral degrees, and many of them after I made a commencement speech. So my journey, lifelong learning, civic engagement, and to serve is to live, began long, long ago at my beloved Junior Pitt and continues to this day. 2 young professors, when I had to drop out and go to work, they arranged for me to do something they called audits. They signed me on for courses at night and arranged for me to, quote, audit the courses. I didn't pay anything. So Pitt is close to my heart. Now today, our work, our dialogue is all about destiny. Your own destiny as current law students or professionals, faculty, staff, practicing lawyers, and the destiny of all of those you will serve and support. Today, and we've all lived through the past month in our own country, and the year has been a year when we could not anticipate everything that happens. So today, all of us face new leadership imperatives in this age of the lowest level of trust, the highest level of cynicism in my whole lifetime, in my own country, in many countries. Pardon me one moment, please. And the backdrop of this dialogue is as serious, as challenging, as difficult as any of us has faced in a long, long time, facing massive change all over the world, in a world at war. What happened that we observed on television last week was an example of what we're thinking and talking about. So today, as we hurtle into the future, there is no time to negotiate with nostalgia. No, we do not negotiate with nostalgia for outmoded, irrelevant policies and practices. Our quickly, pardon me, our quickly changing, turbulent times do not accommodate the neat and tidy quote. But this is the way we have always done it. No. So our first leadership challenge as working professionals and students of leadership is to challenge the gospel of the status quo. Challenge the gospel of the status quo. And we keep only those 21st century strategies that will be relevant in the future, relevant to those we lead and those we serve. I admire what you're doing. You have dedicated this time to further build the skills necessary to ensure successful learning, initiatives that will align your values to an important mission focused, values based, so that you are a leader of change, a leader of the future. Now, our times call for leaders with a moral compass that works full time. Leaders who are healers and unifiers, who embody the mission and live the values and keep the faith. And today, for leaders in all three sectors, the great challenge, the great imperative is leading change. Leading change. Now, a passionate focus of our Leadership Institute, and another great imperative that spells excellence, is building collaborations. We encourage leaders to see beyond the walls. Are we having trouble?
Yeah.
Shall I continue or just sit and smile and wait?
No, I think we're good now. So why don't you continue?
Shall I continue?
Yes.
Okay. So we encourage, this is what we do, we encourage leaders to see beyond the walls of the corporation and to find partnerships and alliances to help address critical issues, critical needs as equal partners. And it is you, learning leaders, who are the partners for ethical principles, effective corporations, organizations, and as leaders, you open doors. And never forget, this is one of, you've been called to open doors. Around 1660, Emerson wrote, "Be ye an opener of doors," and you and I respond. And if you and I share a vision of healthy children and strong families and good schools and decent housing, safe neighborhood, work that dignifies all, embraced by the diverse, cohesive, inclusive community that cares about all of its people, then we must move beyond the walls. And we must build that healthy community as energetically as we build the organization, the institution, the enterprise within the walls. We call it corporate social responsibility. And today, I am so happy that I can say this to you. And today we find there is a new openness, a wonderful new openness among the best managed, best led corporations to forming partnerships, strong partnerships with social sector organizations that address critical needs. And in these corporations, there is a new openness to encouraging their own people to volunteer, to build community with a common bottom line, changing lives. That's what we're all about. One company's example of corporate social responsibility will inspire other organizations to move beyond the walls. I'm going to share a very personal example. You're looking at me, and I'm in a beautiful office at 320 Park Avenue, New York. It's a block-long, beautiful building, 5 years old. And Mutual of America, life insurance company, has given our organization, first the Drucker Leadership Institute, and now it has my name, over my dead body, I must say, but the board, when we lost Peter, they took my name and said, on this issue, you have no voice and no vote. But Mutual of America has given us these beautiful offices at 320 Park Avenue, New York City. I look out my window right now. If I turned around, I would be looking at the Waldorf Astoria and St. Bartholomew's Church. And for 25 years, we have never paid rent. Tell you something else about Mutual America. 97% of their staff members volunteer, participate in some type of philanthropic endeavor, whether it be direct contributions, voluntary service, or participation in fund development. 97% of this remarkable corporation that has given us our beautiful offices for 25 years. 97% of their people volunteer. And in this service, the people of the corporation find new meaning as they move, and I quote, from success to significance. That's Peter Drucker. You move when you do what we're talking about, and what you are doing. You are moving from success to significance. Peter Drucker. Now, I spend a third of my time with corporations and a third with social sector organizations, a third college and universities, sometime somewhere in the middle of these thirds, time with the Chief of Staff of the U.S. Army, teaching every other month at West Point for 2 years, and this past week I spent 3 days at West Point at the most inspiring conference on Leah, on I want to get the title right because it was called The Conference on Diversity. And there were people from every ethnic group you've ever heard of. We met there. Their first classes were 1802. It's hallowed ground for me. And so long ago, William Butler Yeats wrote, "Education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire." And you and I are called to light that fire, and knowing you, your reputation, you will light that fire. Then our fourth great imperative is to build the richly diverse enterprise today. If we are to be viable, relevant, even present 10 years from now, providing equal access is essential to achieving significance in a new century. And leaders in all three sectors must send a clear and powerful message that our goal is to provide equal access to opportunity for growth, learning, development, and participation, actual participation to workers and students, men and women in management, in governance, our customers from all segments of our country's population across the generation. And you and I never see the diversity imperative as a challenge. Never. We see it as enormous opportunity for greater relevance, significance, success. And when we, and I'm going to quote Peter Drucker, who used to say, "I never predict, I simply look out the window and I see what is visible, but not yet seen." Well, when we look out the window at all of the people in all of our ethnic groups, the people we want to bring in, we ask ourselves this question. When all of these wonderfully diverse people, when they look at us, our boards, our staff, our workforce, our visuals, can they find themselves? When our answer is resounding, yes, you bet they can. Absolutely. Look at any of our visuals. Walk in my office, and with 3 staff members, we achieve a wonderful diversity. So when our answer is a resounding yes, I repeat, we are the organization of the future. And we've been talking about the power of mission and values and change, diversity, inclusion, collaboration, all about leadership. I define leadership, and I have for many years, I can't even count them. I define leadership as, quote, leadership is a matter of how to be, not how to do. You and I spend most of our lives learning how to do and teaching others how to do, yet you and I know that in the end, it is the quality and character of the leader, the quality and character of the leader that determines the performance, the results. And if we have people who talk about the how to be leader, if we are to succeed as leaders, then you and I will manage for the mission, manage for innovation, manage for diversity. Those are the three. We manage for the mission, we manage for innovation, we manage for diversity, and for leaders leading for change, we manage for the greater good. It's a privilege to mentor, to coach, to be fellow travelers on the road to significance. And today, I feel so privileged to be with you. You are inspiring fellow travelers, new friends of the heart. And I hope you have very good memories. And remember, 320 Park Avenue between 50 and 51. And I hope when you can come to New York, you will come to 320 Park, 3rd floor, in this beautiful Mutual America building. And we will have breakfast, lunch, or dinner, whichever you prefer. I count on it. Long, long ago, early in another century, George Bernard Shaw left a message for you and me. Shaw wrote, I am of the opinion that my life belongs to the community. And as long as I live, it is my privilege to do for it whatever I can. I want to be thoroughly used up when I die, for the harder I work, the more I live. Life is no brief candle for me. It is a sort of splendid torch which I have got hold of for a short moment, and I want to make it burn as brightly as possible before handing it on to future generations. George Bernard Shaw. Now, 10 years from now, when the history of your own work and the work of your generation is being written, may they write of you. For a little while, they held a splendid torch. The future called, and they responded. They kept the faith. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Francis, that was incredibly inspiring. Do you have a few minutes to answer a question or two?
When you talked to me about today, I blocked off from 6 a.m. until midnight. But yes, we have all the time you have, I have. How's that?
Oh, that's fabulous. Thank you. Questions? Anybody would like to ask a question?
Right down.
So I'll start, okay? Maybe that'll prompt other questions.
Yes.
So we are all lawyers. Lawyers in training, lawyers in practice, teaching law. Are there particular aspects of your vision of leadership that you would recommend to the legal profession? What contributions do you see lawyers making in leadership?
Well, an incredible, essential contribution, and their leadership is a matter of how to be, not how to do. And every day I would remind myself that I have a mission. It's short, powerful, compelling. It's my own mission. It's why I do what I do. So I'm mission focused. I never forget it. Values based. Not 20 values. 5 or 6, 7 at the most. Peter Drucker used to say to people about mission, your mission should fit on a t-shirt. And we always are faithful to Peter, but mission focused, values based. 5, 4, 5, 6, never more than 7, and we live those values. They're not just on a nice plaque somewhere. Mission focused, values based, demographics driven. We know our community, our country, our state, the groups we are part of. We appreciate them and we value the differences. And every day we discover the richness of the differences of our communities, our groups, people we work with, our country. Diversity is never, oh my goodness, diversity is such a challenge. Never. Diversity is one of the most exciting opportunities. No challenge. We have a great big word, opportunity, and we move beyond the walls, and we choose wisely our fellow travelers. And when I look at you and think of what you are doing and who you are, I am so grateful because in your own lives, I know you are a friend of the heart with some of your people. And all of us look out that window with Peter and we find ways to make a difference, to change our world.
So we have another question. Kyle?
What advice would you give for how to grow your own leadership capabilities in your day-to-day life?
Would you repeat that, please?
I will. The question is, what advice do you have for growing your leadership capability in your day-to-day life?
Well, that's a marvel. I love that question. You live your values. They aren't on that wooden plaque. No. You know who you are, what your values are, and you have enormous respect for all people. The people you work with, the people you work for, the people in our communities. And mission focused, values based, demographics driven. So it is a privilege to truly believe it and say, I manage my life, my work. We manage for the mission. We manage for innovation. We don't just repeat the past. Peter said innovation was change that creates a new dimension of performance. How do you like that definition of innovation? Change that creates a new dimension of performance. And then we celebrate the diversity and appreciate the differences. And we build a better world for everyone.
Other question? Stephanie?
I was interested by your comment that, given your breadth of experience, you feel like the world is more cynical now than you've seen it in your lifetime. And I wonder what you attribute that cynicism to, and what advice you would have for us that want to somehow counter that cynicism.
So I'll repeat the question. So yeah, so you said at the beginning that you see a lot of cynicism in the world today.
Yes.
And the question is, how do you think we should counter that? What strategies or approaches can we individually undertake to deal with that and respond to that cynicism?
As the last few words are my answer. We respond. We don't just listen to the cynics and who are saying very negative things about our people, our country, different groups. We are very, very positive. And we are, as I say, we are mission focused. Right now, you know what is important to you in this life, the work you want to do, and you keep that foremost. No one changes it. You live your values, and you don't say, well, there's something I I did yesterday I really shouldn't have, but I'll be better tomorrow. No, today is when we change ourselves to work. And there's something about finding that language and building it around our values and what we want to do with our mission. what we want to do with our lives and very conscious of it. And I have to smile when I look at you because I think I'm looking at people who have, right now, you have a mission. You are living your values. And I look at you and I think of two words, and that includes our leader. Bright future. That's what I see. I'm looking at each one of you, and I see a bright future for you, but also all of the people you work with, all of the work you do. Bright future.
So I have another question. So you have spoken very directly about knowing yourself, knowing your values, living your mission.
Yes.
In your own life, in your own career, going back to beginning at junior Pitt, beginning with your first volunteering with the Girl Scouts of America. Can you describe your own journey, how you identified your values, how you figured out who you are way back then?
Oh, that's a big one. In the very beginning, whether it was with Girl Scouts of the U.S.A. or later with the Drucker Foundation Institute, and today we, in our office, Peter is with us. And so in all of that time, the three values I mentioned, however I described them or thought about them, kept distilling them. It was very important to live by them. You couldn't say, well, what I did yesterday wasn't very nice, but I'll be good, not today, but tomorrow. No. Every moment we live our values. And to serve is to live. That's my battle cry. And where can we make a difference? In today's world, in today's country, there are greater challenges than we have had before. But it is your generation that is going to solve the problems and build the bright future. And Pew Study Center has done a marvelous study. They found that in the 1930s and 40s, we had a cohort of young people, 18 to 28, and we now call them the greatest generation. Pew is now saying to us, for the first time since 1940, we have this generation. We call them the millennials, and they really are the bright future of our country, and we're very grateful.
I have one more question for you.
I love it.
Okay. So you work with a very broad range of people and organizations,
Yes.
from corporations to social sector to colleges and universities. Are there individuals that you have seen that you could name and say, here is somebody who is really the embodiment of the leadership vision that, to serve is to live? Somebody is a role model for all of us.
I'm trying. I'd like to give you 20. I've just come from 3 days at West Point. It was a conference on diversity, and it was the most incredibly diverse group, and they were people like us, and different age groups, different kinds of work, careers, and it was on diversity. And the people who attended but who spoke were wonderfully diverse. And I think today, when I mentioned you manage for the mission, you manage for innovation, you manage for diversity, and you live by that.
Perfect.
And it was so inspiring to be there 3 days.
Oh, no, thank you, Charlie.
And we had our first classes at West Point in 1802.
Okay. Francis, I think we're going to have to bring this to a close for today, but we all want to thank you again for joining us at the University of Pittsburgh. Your life and your words are a true inspiration to us, and we're so grateful that you were able to share this time with us. So thank you very, very much.
Just remember, hail to Pitt. And remember, 320 Park Avenue, you will be.
Okay, we will see you. Thank you very much, Francis. Bye-bye. Thank you, Yvette.
Bye.